Hi there, Leo. Welcome to your August 2024 love reading for single people. It's Rena here. Not that I do this all the time, but I recently, I don't know if I think it was last month, I did one for couples or relationships, and now I'm doing one for singles. And I really went far into the reading, and I just started, it's just a force of habit. I started just doing a general reading, and I don't want to do that, so I kind of got off in the weeds. So I'm just going to start over again, so you can't see me laying down the cards. This, like I said, this is for people who are single and looking. And it could be that you're dating someone, and that could be some kind of the dilemmas that show up here. The heart of the matter is the Empress card. The Empress card you can see in this deck, which is really ingenious, this Light Seers Tarot deck, that it shows this pregnancy. It almost looks like a globe to me. So I'm not quite sure what that's all about. But the idea of pregnancy is a big theme. This is like the Earth Mother card. It's connected to Venus, and the signs that Venus rules are Taurus and Libra. So maybe there's one of those signs that's around you that I don't know if you have considered them. Libra is a harmonious angle, and Taurus, even though it's a square to Leo, it does, the irritation of a square is also the attraction, the physical attraction. So there you go. And so basically what I would say is that some of you may be thinking about motherhood, or if you are a man, parenthood, nurturing a child, bring a child into the world. Leo is a sign of children, but we all know that not everybody has children. I don't have children. I won't have children in this lifetime. But you know what? When I was looking at the statistics, it's actually uh, pretty much an anomaly, although it's probably getting to be more and more commonplace not to have kids. But I was shocked to learn that, the majority of people do have children. They do reproduce. And of course, it doesn't mean that you have to physically reproduce. It could be adoption. It could be, you know, being a step parent or a foster parent. It could be something along those lines. But there could be a yearning in that direction. If you're not of that age where that's something that you want to do, you may still be looking for a relationship with someone that you can, maybe if you've never had children, you're hoping that they have kids and that their kids have grandkids, or something where you get to express that part of yourself as a Leo that is into that kind of thing. But if you're just not into that altogether, this is a card of creativity. And as somebody who considers myself creative, I am so happy that I'm with somebody who is creative, because I honestly think that it's a special kind of mindset, and people who are very linear, they just don't get it. I mean, I'm sure there are some couples where one person is very left-brained and the other one is, I was going to say, out to lunch. But I think in general, it works when you're on the same page. So there might be some of that going on. Maybe you belong to some kind of theater troupe, or you're like a musician and you always go to an open mic every week. And it's funny. I know this is kind of like a little bit of an aside, and this is actually from a long time ago, so some of you that are on the younger side wouldn't even know what I was talking about, but some of you who are old enough might remember this. I think she won American Idol, I don't remember what year, named Crystal Bowersox. And my partner, he plays music sometimes in the different, he would play like not really open mics, but he'd go up there and do a song or something like that. And he did that at this bar in suburban Chicago, and she played. He saw her play, and I think it was before she won, and it was before she was on American Idol. So he got to see her. So I think this was like over 20 years ago. I can't remember, in the early 2000s. But yeah, and she used to perform in the Chicago area. So anyway, the reason I was saying this is because I think she is a Leo. And so when I was using that as an example, I was saying, yeah, I think, it's kind of random, I guess. But Leos are just natural performers of one sort or another. So it could be music, it could be, anything. And it's so helpful to have somebody. So maybe you meet somebody in that world that's creative. In the past position, we have the Queen of Cups, and the wild thing about this, I would call the Queen of Cups in a lot of ways the minor arcana version of the Empress. I know it's not totally like that because it is water energy. This is double water. I think this is connected to Cancer, but it's the psychic, the artist. This is also a card of artist, and the mother. This is a card of the mother. You may have dreams about the person you're meant to be with. You may have dreams about a child that you're meant to have. Or you have like some crazy aunt who's like the psychic in the family who's told you about this. Sorry about the trains. It's usually quiet, but it's rush hour, and I keep pausing it, but screw it. I just want to keep going here, so there might be something almost, it feels faded. It feels like you're dreaming of this child that you're supposed to have, or this partner that you're supposed to be with. Because by the way, the Empress can just be love. Okay. So it's a great card for me to draw during a love reading. So maybe love is around you, and maybe there is some kind of psychic component to all of that. What's coming in is the Wheel. This particular deck, called the Light Seers Tarot deck, they don't call it the Wheel of Fortune. If you are familiar with various tarot decks, you may see how sometimes they call a certain card different than the Rider-Waite deck. And it can be a little bit disorienting if you're new to the tarot, because you're still getting your bearings about what each card represents. And I'm sure they have a reason for what they do. I haven't like read any kind of like little booklet about the wheel in this particular deck, but what I would guess is that they didn't want to make it about fortune. The Wheel of Fortune, plus it sounds like the game show, right? But the Wheel of Fortune, it kind of seems like when you're, I don't gamble, but like when they're spinning the roulette wheel, and it's like, it just seems like, oh, am I going to be lucky tonight or not? And maybe they didn't want to really emphasize that. And the Wheel of Fortune card, but the wheel itself can really speak to cycles. This card can be about, like, sometimes you're on top of the world, and sometimes you're not there. And this card, I don't think it has the person underneath, but this kind of expression on her face is rather effortless. Like she's just kind of, manifesting what she wants and everything like that. And so that can certainly be true. But in the Rider-Waite, they show the person like falling off the wheel, because sometimes you feel like you're in a cycle where everything is, twice as hard. It's like, it seems like it's working against you, and it's like it's easy to get cynical in those situations. So it's really about, I feel like with this card, it's about being like, there's a twist of fate. Like maybe you're supposed to go to a party, or maybe you weren't supposed to go to a party, and you decide to show up and you meet your soulmate there, that kind of thing. Well, isn't that the best, the absolute best? the challenge card is the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card, like if I read it in the challenge position, well, even in the upright position, it can be that you're self-sufficient financially, and maybe in some cases that's actually a liability, because especially for women, I think traditionally, so this would probably be more of like an older woman who comes from a different generation where like even a woman in her 70s, 60s and 70s could still be looking for the love of her life, but she might have been raised in a generation where it was very important for women to become financially self-sufficient. And she may feel like she has achieved that goal. And and I know this is actually, these would be people from the generation before me, where women still were dependent on men financially a lot of times. It wasn't until I was like in grade school that women were, well into grade school, that women were starting to work outside the home pretty, much the majority. So during the 70s, so that kind of thing meant that women felt like that was important for them. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it may feel like, and they may have even stressed it to their daughters, and that can kind of like carry on through, because I have even seen younger women, and they may be like, you know what, I don't need a man because I pay my own bills. And the problem with that is that that's not what that's not the whole point of love. It isn't about money, but it can get a little bit tricky, especially if you have had the experience of, if you're a woman and having men that haven't been able to be your financial equals. I saw something, I'm sorry to be so random, but maybe you'll think this is funny. I saw something on Reddit, and the man said, he was going out to dinner with this woman, and I'm sure a lot of those people are probably in their 20s and stuff like that. And he said to her, "Oh my God, I forgot my wallet. Can you just pay, and then I'll pay you back when we get home?" And she went to the counter and she just disappeared. Like she just like ghosted him. And my feeling is that she probably thought he was full of it and that he just wanted her to pay the bill, and she was like, screw this, and she was out of there. So the question is that kind of attitude justified for a woman who wants to be equal to a man? Unless such a person uses that excuse over and over again, I think that was an overreaction. But maybe she had similar experiences where it was like the man was trying to get her to foot all his bills or something. Who knows? But they were just going out to dinner, so it wasn't that serious. So the point is that, and this, I know that there are men that are going to watch this, so I don't want to leave you out of this, but just for the women who are dating men, Leo, it's kind of problematic sometimes for Leo women, because it's a masculine sign, and you can be very dynamic, and your partner may feel like they're I was going to say you're a little bitch, but what I mean is that it's very hard sometimes for fire sign women to kind of put themselves in that role, not subservient, but just like a little bit toned down, and not having to kind of orchestrate everything. So there might be some issue around money and kind of like the practical side of life that has been a theme for you. Or sometimes it can be that there's a lot of generosity with Leo, that you tend to, it's not like you're trying to buy love, but you might just be so generous that you don't realize that some people are opportunists, and you don't realize until it's too late because you're very positive thinking. So just I don't know if any of that is relevant, but just putting it out there. The outcome card is the High Priestess. Well, actually, this is probably even more in alignment with the Queen of Cups in terms of the Major Arcana version. Um, Very interesting. I would say, if you're looking for love, to meditate on it, connect with your higher self, find out what is really good for you, not just who is good for you, but how to, where you need to go, what you need to do. Maybe you've been looking for love in all the wrong places. And maybe you'll find this person at a yoga class or a meditation class. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't it be great to meet somebody who is in this kind of a field, or who's into this stuff? A lot of people might meet in a bar. Is that really the best place to meet someone? It's the best place to meet like somebody who parties, but I mean in terms of looking for a life partner. So that might indicate that would be like a great thing, or that you will intuit what is best for you during August. So that's what I have for you, Leo. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a love reading or any other kind of love reading that's personalized with your natal chart, or a personalized tarot reading, you can find out about my package deals, which are, you save money by getting 2 readings in one. And the link is below. Thank you for watching. Bye.